He DM'd me before, by the way, Charlie, and he did something.
Did y'all talk? Are you?
Yeah, we had like a little interaction, and he did something that I really respect, and I understand that he is very like, you know, he's very politicized, and the algorithm has created different versions of him for different people and all that kind of stuff. But he saw a headline of me.
He said something very important there, and this is something that we're speaking to. We've been talking about. The algorithm has created different versions of him for different people, based off of what they want to believe and what they want to see of him. Isn't that interesting how that can work?
Do you think AI is behind all this and they're trying to
destroy us
like Terminator? Nah, I'm joking, but
no,
that's crazy though that it can do that.
Yeah. Like it can literally feed you the version of someone, especially if there's enough material of them online. It can feed you that version of someone or of a country or of a government or of a president.
They know what you want.
Right. They know what ideas you want. Right. Yeah. Exactly. But he's talking about how Charlie Kirk had DM'd him. That's what he's saying. Like Charlie Kirk had reached out to him before he died. All right. So let's get back into it.
He saw a headline of me. And we'd never spoken. He hit me up and he was just like, hey, or maybe we did before, something like that. But they hit me and says, hey, I saw this headline. It seems like you're saying this thing. Is that what you mean? And I was like, no, they're actually taking this thing out of context. And this is what I was actually trying to say and blah, blah. He's like,
he understood. He got it.
Bro, I cannot. There are friends, people that I would consider friends, people that I've helped, people that I've gotten visas to work in America.
Akash?
No.
What?
Those H-1B visas, though. No, like that have jumped to make content off of a headline that was taken out of context about me or something that people are framing that I said that wasn't that good. And they jump to make content, they jump to monetize, they jump to get clicks and views without simply just messaging me and asking for clarification, right?
So he's making the point to show how Charlie was actually different. He, like, the way they're trying to paint him as some like provocateur and saying things to get rage bait and clickbait. Like, he saw something that Andrew Schulz said in a clip and reached out to him to get clarification.
Yeah, because he probably didn't agree with it, or it sounds.
Or wanted to make sure.
Does he say what?
He never goes into exactly what it is. He never goes into exactly what it is. But if you watch the full interview, he goes into how, like, he really respected that. Like, no, like he said, he has friends that wouldn't even do that.
Friends that he's done stuff for.
Right, that he's helped. And here's this guy, and it just speaks to his character. Here's this guy who doesn't know him at all.
Can I just add to that?
Go ahead.
This is why it's important now, speaking of technology in this time, to have your own voice and be able to speak truth. Because if you're controlled, because guess what? What Andrew Schulz is saying, Van Jones said on CNN.
Exactly.
But
so we see a pattern.
Then we see a pattern. But the difference is Andrew Schulz owns his platform. Even though Van Jones said that about Charlie, he's not going to elaborate on the comparison that Schulz is making here about, I have friends that wouldn't even do this very simple, courteous thing that he would. The reason he wouldn't do that is because he can only speak a little bit in reverence of him as a person, but not to honor him because it's too much for that network.
Yeah.
This is why it's important to own your platform, because if you own your platform and you say you stand for truth, you got to stand for truth all the way around. Now, I don't agree with Schulz and everything, but one thing he does do is he's not known to be a liar.
He tries to be honest about what he thinks.
He tries to be honest.
Yeah.
And that's even with his comedy. He says it may not be a truth to you, but it's a truth to me. And we need people like that because, you see, like you said, because of the way the algorithm is, Charlie Kirk could be a version of whomever you want him to be because of the algorithm. That'll feed you that, right? And so Schulz, who owns his platform, he's telling a story about a person that people already had a preconceived notion to. Now, the difference is when you're vying for a title, a position in a company that you don't own, even if you wanted to say that, that could be edited out, or you would have to redact that and change it around. So that way you could be polite enough, but you can't speak to that character.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what I think with that's what I think is Schulz. The difference is Schulz has the ability to say, look, here's a comparison about people I know and how they treated me versus somebody who don't know me and how they treated me. You know what I mean?
And he's able to say it like you're saying. He's saying it on a platform. Like, let's face it, a lot of those fans are Charlemagne fans who see Charlie Kirk a certain way. So he's now exposing them to a complete opposite idea from someone that they respect. You know, even
Right.
though they can always just dismiss it as, oh, because he's white, he's saying
Sure.
that, you know, but they're at least being able, and they're seeing that Charlemagne didn't really push back because he has no argument for that, you know.
No. And if Schulz is under the control of a network, him saying that would be edited out, or he would have to come back and change that around a bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the importance of being able to have your own.
All right, I got one more clip from him in this moment. I think he goes into the social media, you know, bifurcation.
The Charlie thing is like, even talking about it, it exposed me because I started watching a bunch of his things. He DM'd me before, by the way, Charlie.
No, we
And
just
he
showed
did something.
You
and
talk, you
jumped to make content off of a headline,
have a different lens, right? And the reason I say that is
simply just messaging me and asking for clarification, right?
somebody like Charlie has a different lens, right? And the reason I say that is because he's probably a person that they does him all the time. So
Bro,
yeah, I get it.
I honestly think, I know this is like, and again, I understand how radioactive he is, right? Like, there are different, what this whole thing exposed to me is just like how fractured social media has made Americans, but also just like the world.
Oh, it's over.
Because like, no, for real, because think about it, like, there is a different version of Charlie Kirk depending on who you are.
Yes.
And the algorithm will feed you the things that confirm your belief about that person. So if you're a like God-fearing right-wing Christian, you're gonna get all the content about Charlie that speaks to that, about how important family is to him, about how important his Christianity, his beliefs are to him. And you're like, wow, this is a really great man. And then if you're a person that doesn't like conservative rhetoric and you think conservatives are bigots, you're gonna get all of those 30-second clips with no context of all the things that he said. They're like, oh, I don't trust black pilots or whatever the thing is. You're not gonna get the whole conversation where that happened. You're not gonna get anything that would actually give you nuance. So it's like the algorithm flattens all of us, you, me, Charlie, everybody, into these two-dimensional avatars. And then people watch 4 or 5 clips where people are reacting to that person, and then they go, oh, I guess this is what everybody thinks of that person. And then people feel really confident having these strong opinions on people that they do not know at all.
It's a good take.
Yeah.
It's the truth.
Yep. Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Because that was the first time he really spoke on the matter since he's been in Australia filming Street Fighter.
How does Charlemagne? I never heard him talk about Charlie Kirk.
I mean, I think he probably. I haven't heard him like voice his opinion. He has said that it's wild that people are like celebrating it and making fun of it and stuff like that. But he has said that, you know, he said a lot of hateful things, and you know, he mentions all the same stuff that everyone else points out, you know, DEI and such and such. But you know, the fact that he's willing to sit down and talk with Andrew, and they won't agree on things or they'll talk about it, and I just like that there's still people there that can have conversations even if they don't agree, and they can still be friends, and they can still not get into this like place where we are now where everyone's at each other's throats.
Yeah.
And Andrew's he's a comedian too, so he's not as easily offended. He's around people who are sarcastic, and you know, we're so sensitive. He has another gear he can tap into, just like Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
They have another gear that they can tap into where they can have conversation without being easily offended. Because if you work on the muscle of offense, that's going to be your strongest weapon. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because that's all you're doing is you're looking for offense, and like you said, the algorithm speaks to what you're looking for. You know what I mean? So that's the sad part.